Look at that wand. It hums with inner source.
do you want? But it's a riddle, isn't it? A conundrum. What's it you'll have to solve? Well, nice to meet you too. Rude thing.
Lucky find. It's been cursed.
You made it all this way.
He trembles and seems to shudder with a quiet sob.
I'm cursed, you know. Bloody Brachus bound me here to protect his vault. He has my soul in that jar just there, and I can't leave without it. As long as the jar stays unbroken, I can never truly die. I don't rightly know. This was the Source King's way. Befriend you, then destroy you. I was a fool to expect I'd be an exception. His favor was intoxicating. That's no excuse, but it is the reason. Really? You would?
He drops to his knees before you and grabs onto your feet with both hands, head hanging.
Thank you.
find. Good find. Nice.
The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism. As you take in its chiseled details, you have a vision. The statue comes to life and embraces you awkwardly with its broken arms. Unable to resist, you're flown away into an endless dark.
That shrine seems to have brought me here. What is this place?
Quackus, where are we? No leaves, no trees, no soil. This is horrific! Aye, the giant takes notice of its charges.
As you get closer, your disguise starts to waver and shift. You feel a twist as your form changes, and you stand once more in your natural form. You hear a distant chuckle. You walk towards the figure on the dais, but wisps of mist start to cloud your vision. With each step, the mist gets thicker, hiding the figure from sight.
Thane? Thane!
You push through the fog, chasing the voice at breakneck speed. You trip and start to fall, but catch yourself against a bookcase? You look around in shock as the mist clears. You are standing in a library. Your library. You hear a cough behind you and turn to see your assistant, Harina. She hands you a thick book, Observations on the Universal Veil. You look at her in confusion as she explains, "You asked me to bring you your research, Master Fane, for your guest." As you walk through the library, Harina expresses her condolences. It is a shame that the king forbade further investigation into the veil. It was a fascinating topic. She leads you to a door, your study, and pushes it open to introduce your visitor. You step through the door and see the Lady Amadia, one of the 7 lords. You turn, but your assistant is gone. The door is closed. You are alone with this unexpected visitor.
I must say, you created quite a stir earlier, dear Fane. The other lords and I were quite impressed with your research. We believe the king's decree that you should not investigate the veil was misguided. We would like to view more of your research. And I see you have already brought me some reading material. Kindly give it here, my boy.
The desk dissolves as you pass your hand through it, but the mist quickly reforms afterwards. You turn to see Lady Amadia staring at you curiously.
Are you feeling quite well, my boy? I was hoping to talk to you about your research. Do you truly think this veil is the key to unlocking a new future? Yes, so we gathered. We found it strange that the king would refuse you the chance to explore something that could be so beneficial to our people. But perhaps there are still paths we can walk. Perhaps.
There is a crash of timber behind you, and you can feel hands grabbing you. You are dragged backwards as Amadia screams. The screams fade to nothing, as does the scene before you. You're standing on the cold, glowing stones once more, with Lady Amadia before you.
Fane, darling Fane. I had to know. I had to be sure. If you were not who you claimed, it could have been a disaster. Who? Anyone, my child. Anyone could be a threat. No one in this world has escaped the madness unleashed by the king. Ah, but we are gods. We ascended beyond our previous forms. But we had no choice. Not after what we discovered. We know why the king forbade your research. He already knew about the Veil, Fane. He was draining its power, leeching from it to build up his own strength. When we confronted him about this betrayal, he used his power to try and subdue us, to turn us to slaves. The veil did not fall, but it was weakened. The wall was cracked, and the king was using his ill-gotten power to widen those cracks. We fought, of course. The king scorched our land, but by uniting, we overcame his evil. He was banished beyond the veil he had tried to subvert, but our victory was hollow. Our people, oh my child, they were erased, destroyed utterly. We 7 were all that remained. I fear that it is. But you must steel yourself. The fight is not yet done. For centuries, the king has been searching for a way back into our world. And beyond the veil, he found the force that could help him do it. The Void. The moment we discovered the Void, we understood the veil was created to hold it at bay by powers even more ancient than us. But thanks to the king, that evil has been seeping through the cracks. We have contained both ever since, but now, alas, they are winning. I fear we are no longer united. I fear, well...
Amadia turns and gestures to the scene behind her. Down below, you can see the 6 other gods fighting, clawing at each other, everyone desperately trying to get the upper hand.
Over the centuries, the drip of void into this world corrupted the others while they played with their mortal races. I fear it is too late for them, for us. But you, Fane, you have been untouched by it all. The world needs a power to protect it, and you are the key, Fane. But you have fallen so far. You will feel whole once again, child. You have my word. I will guide you, but first you must return to the world and escape that island. But you will return more powerful. As your first step towards righting the wrongs of this world, I grant you my blessing and give you the ability to bless in turn.
Amadia stretches her hand out, and you feel a warm glow spread through your bones. You feel a sensation that you have not felt in a very, very long time.
You may have noticed I have tried to help you on your journey, that I can bless the very water beneath your feet. Now you have that power for yourself. And this is only the beginning. More and greater powers await you, if only you will seek them, and seek them you must. But before you begin, a word of warning. I gather that you travel with a pack of these lesser creatures. It is only natural after so long spent alone, but you must be wary. Some of these creatures are more dangerous than they seem. They are God-woken, the chosen champions of the other 6 gods. And then there is the one you know as Losa. She is something else. Something wicked. You must beware of her above all others. For they will all walk the same path as you, but they cannot be allowed to reach its end. You must be the one. Only one of our people can wield this power. Only you, Fane.
She lays her hand on your skull, and you see it clearly. The others, the gods, Amadia, and you. You are her chosen. You are her God-woken.
So go forth into the world with my blessing, dear one. Heed my words and go.
Blessed branches, we've returned. Every second we spent in that hellish place was a second the great acorn drew closer. Interesting. You thought it was interesting, Quercus? Do you know what's interesting? Watching an entire world be strangled by the roots of doom, seeing the giant races fall like leaves in frost, hearing the screams of... I don't know what you're talking about. I am perfectly calm. Anyway, as interesting as that cold hellscape might have been, it does not solve our problem. We are here to stop the Great Acorn, not hide from it. It's already helping more than it knows, Quercus. The fate of the world depends on our ability to research a spell to protect Rivellon. We need to travel across the land, gathering clues, experimenting with different magics, and come up with a spell to shield Rivellon from its doom. Of course, for us to do that, we must avoid being eaten by the servants of the Great Acorn, and that is where our big, foolhardy shield comes in. Quercus! Quercus! It thinks it can use magic at our level. I don't know if that's adorable or just sad. No! I am not going to share our magic with it. I don't care how much you like it, Quercus. Very well, I cannot give it magic, but I can teach it how to forge one spell, if it will keep you happy. One!
The squirrel reaches out, touching your foot with a delicate paw, and you feel your mind open. You can see the forces of magic and see how to combine them in a new way.
There, maybe now your pet will have a fighting chance. Yes, you're welcome, but can we please get on and save the world now?
The ring just got tighter. A lot tighter. Bloody ring. It's loose. Get off me and stay off.
Here, Quercus. Another giant. My word, this blasted isle is teeming with them. What's that? Yes, I did see how it made short work of the great Acorn's servants. Quite right, very impressive. But that is no reason to trust it. Giants like that destroyed our forests. They are the very reason the great Acorn is returning in all its wrath. What? Dear me, have you taken leave of all 6 of your senses? You would have me use this giant for a shield? Why would I... Oh, I see. You cunning devil, Quercus. Of course, if it defeated the great Acorn's vile servants, it can do so again. We need only follow in its big, wide shadow and be safe. Egad! It speaks our tongue, Quercus! Hush before... What do you mean a good time for introductions? You know full well who I am, you silly old cat. The great Solora, grandest of the... Oh, introduce myself to the giant. I shall do no such thing. You give away your trust too easily, my dear steed. No, we will have the giant march. In time, we'll see whether it deserves our confidence. Now, onwards! Shield! Venture forth, post-haste. The great Acorn waits for no one. Oh, how pensively our shield looks down upon us. Ah, Quercus, did you forget about our shield? It seems it hasn't forgotten about us, despite appearances.
The rodent lays its paw on your boot, and you feel something. In some corner of your mind, a new way of crafting magic slowly emerges.
There, Quercus. I have given the creature an advantage against the great Acorn's servants. Now, shall we move on already? Ask away, shield. A giant body, but no giant brain, eh, Quercus? Surely, even the tall folk know that Rivellon was bare before the great Acorn fell from above and seeded the Earwood, covering this land in beautiful, perfect forests. Beautiful and perfect until the giant races, no offense, realized they could use it to build their houses and fuel their fires. They carved the Earwood up, and the forests shrank and shrank. None of the original wood remains. But someday, the great Acorn will fall again. The forests will be reborn, and the giant races will be wiped from this world. At least that's what I hear. Oh, Quercus, it wants answers. As if it is the first creature to ponder the big questions of the universe. What tree did the great acorn fall from? Where did that tree come from, if not a greater acorn? Could you build a nest great enough to store the great acorn for the winter? Some questions have no answers. Quercus, why is that so difficult to understand? The great acorn will come. It will destroy the world, and squirrels will reign supreme forever. I fail to see what's so difficult to grasp. What do you say, Quercus? We once believed it was good, but now... No, quite right. As terrible as the giants have been to us, we do not want to see them wiped out. Rather, we must find a way to live together in peace, giant and squirrel.
Solora stops short, then shakes his head and pats Quercus affectionately.
Squirrels change, don't they, Quercus? Priorities change. If we do not adapt, we are sure to perish. Oh, how pensively our shield looks down upon us. Ask away, shield. A giant body, but no giant brain, eh, Quercus? Surely even the tall folk know that Rivellon was bare before the great acorn fell from above and seeded the Urwood, covering this land in beautiful, perfect forests. Beautiful and perfect until the giant races, no offense, realized they could use it to build their houses and fuel their fires. They carved the Urwood up, and the forests shrank and shrank. None of the original wood remains. But someday, the great acorn will fall again. The forests will be reborn, and the giant races will be wiped from this world. At least that's what I hear. Indeed, Quercus. Let's be off.
The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism. The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism. The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism. The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism.
Lucky find.
The goddess's tears still stream freely, but an aura of loving calm now permeates the soft, moist air.
Please, Armada. Bless. Hello again, child. What brings you here? Go in Armada.
Good find. Nice.
The deity's head and as you take it.
That shrine seems to Is this place?
You walk toward.
Thane,
You push. You look around. She leads you to a door, your study, and you turn.
I must weep, and I see you have already brought me some reading material. The king, the king. Is he truly all our people ever talk about? What of knowledge, young one? What of discovery?
She snatches the book from your hands, thumbing through it, engrossed by your research.
Yes. Yes, quite fascinating. A barrier of pure source. Yes, so we gathered. We found it strange that the king would refuse you the chance to explore something that could be so beneficial to our people. But perhaps there are still paths we can walk. Perhaps.
There is a crash of timber behind you, and you can feel hands grabbing you. The screams.
Faye, if you are not who you claimed, it could have been a disaster. Who? No one in this world has escaped the madness unleashed by the king. Ah, but we know when we confronted him about this betrayal, he used his power to try and survey. They were erased. I fear for the moment we have contained both ever since. But now, alas, they are winning. I fear I fear the world needs a power to protect it. You will,
Amadeus.
You may, and this is. But before you begin, it is a they, and therefore they will.
She lays.
So go for.
Interesting. You know what? Anyway, as interesting as that cool, it's all the fate we need, of course, for us to. No, there.
The script.
There. Look here. What's there? But that is what? Oh, we need only follow in its big, wide. What do you know? No. Now. Our shields ask away. A giant, sure, beautiful day, but someday. Oh, what? The great acorn will come. What do you know? Rather, we must. Lord, squirrels change.
The deities. The goddess's tears still stream.
Nice.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
The goddess's tears.
Smoke and screams. Echoes of
Hush,
death.
Bonnie Baron, now don't you cry.
Gareth,
The birds
he's
are
come
asleep.
back.
The moon's in the sky.
Hello again, child.
The seven watch over us.
What brings you here?
So close your sweet
She stops dead as you pull the jar out of your backpack. Her voice trembles as she speaks.
You entered the vault. Please, give that to me. Give it to me now. It matters not. All that matters is that you give it to me. No. Stop! Wait!
She reaches up and tears off her mask, revealing a wet skull, stained by centuries. You stare into the empty eye sockets of the undead creature before you.
I have waited centuries, watching lives come and go, while my soul lies locked in a cage.
She reaches greedily for the jar, tearing the cap off. You see a green glowing light emerge from the jar, enveloping Gratiana.
By Armadia, I feel wet. Oh, goddess, I can feel your tears upon my face. I suppose you deserve to know. Before I knew Armadia's grace, I was a very different person. I was the concubine of Brachus Rex. But more than his lover, I was his partner. I discovered his power to feed on the source of others, and I allowed it to... No, I made it happen. You don't understand. No one understands. My heart held such fear, but with Brachus I was safe. He needed me, and I needed him. As his strength grew, so too did mine. There is nothing you cannot do when you sit on the lap of a powerful king. And I did it all. But power changes a man, as he changes his nation. Brachus grew paranoid, angry, murderous. Armadia, forgive me. It's true. As he grew distant, I just pushed harder. I gave him more and more, trying to win him back to me. I offered him the source of whole villages. He devoured them and demanded more. The lands outside were once green and beautiful, until I came, until I turned them over to him. Now all's poison, and the dead are restless. Armadia is merciful in her love. I found this shrine while hunting a band of wizards. I found the goddess weeping for her children, and I wept too.
She pauses for a moment. If she had eyes, you're sure she'd be wiping them.
Through Armadia, I saw my sins, and I could bear it no longer. I threw myself from the cliff at the entrance. I tried to rid the world of my evil, but Brachus would not allow it. He brought me back from the Hall of Echoes, locked my soul away, and demanded my obedience. Even in death, he commanded me. I spent far too little time there. It was a strange place, but there was peace. A peace I never knew before. Only when 2 source hunters ended his curse was I free. Since then, I have returned here and spent centuries trying to heal the pain I've caused. And now...
She drops the now empty soul jar to the ground, smashing it to pieces with her foot.
You have my thanks, brother.
She starts to speak, but chokes back a sob instead.
Thank you. I can't... I've never known such kindness. Thank you for everything. May you walk forever in Armadia's grace. Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Please come back.
Wish bonny barn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The 7 watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest in the head.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Smoke and screams. Echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Please, Armadia, bless. Hello again, child. What brings you here? Go in Armadia's grace, child.
The moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
The jar on the plinth before you seems ancient, but is in surprisingly good condition. It's covered in pictograms that you can't understand, but you're sure you just saw one of them move. The pictograms spin to life, and you're dragged into a dream. You see the lizards of the ancient empire turning their backs on you, casting you out into the wilderness. As you roam, the human apes turn away from you, all but one. One smiles, one opens his arms, one says he'll take you home. Brachus Rex. He promises power for a price. He picks off your golden scales, one by one, stripping you down to the bone. He promised you a crown, but all you got was shackles. You try to fight, try to reclaim what's yours, but a woman takes you by the hand and leads you to a tower. He promised he'd take me home, you cry. You are home, she smiles as she seals the door. This is where you belong. Your hand drops away from the soul jar, your bones tingling. In the back of your mind, you hear a small, scared voice whimper before fading to nothing. The soul jar stands on its plinth, glowing softly. From within, you can almost hear the whisper of a voice. You see, or rather, you feel a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms you can feel a weight. A body, dead. But you have hope. Your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host, the enemies of Brachus Rex melting before you. The scene twists again. Now Brachus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower.
Wisht, bonny barn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your
Please,
sweet
Armadi,
eyes and
bless
rest your wee
and
head.
protect your humble servant.
The jar on the plinth before you, the pictograms spin as you roll. He promised. He promised. Your hand drops away.
Smoke and screams.
The long-dead lizard's visions fade.
Please come
I can't help but sympathize with him. He just wanted to go home.
No amount of loneliness excuses wickedness. He helped a monster for selfish reasons.
What he did shames his people.
The soul jar stands on its plinth. You see, or rather, you feel, a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms you can feel a weight. A body, dead. But you have hope. Your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host, the enemies of Brachus Rex melting before you. The scene twists again. Now Brachus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower. Your screams fill the darkness. You feel a jolt and open your eyes to see the soul jar before you, lying still in the vault. Your hand falls from the jar and grips the pillar as you try to calm your ragged breathing. The necromancer's memories fade to black, but the feelings remain.
They may have been a necromancer, but they did not feel evil. Misguided, perhaps.
Anyone who marches at the head of an undead host deserves whatever punishment they get.
One must wonder how many more lives they took. How much misery the scum caused.
No, we don't have
The
the time.
birds are asleep. The moon's in the sky.
Smoke and
Gareth would
screams.
know what to do.
The seven watch over
Echoes
us.
of death.
We're safe in bed.
Gareth,
So close your sweet eyes
please come back.
and rest your wee head.
Martha's axe looks so...
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
This jar glitters and glows. From within you think you can make out the distant sound of laughter. With a jerk, your mind is pulled to a scene in a tavern. You see a dwarf in the center of the room, joking us all around roar with laughter. All bar the zombies, who are slavishly serving food and drink.
Please, Armadia, bless.
The door opens, and a tall, beautiful woman stalks into the room. She's flanked by heavily armed guards. You can't make out her words, but see the fear in the dwarf's eyes. The dwarf mutters a word, and the undead lurch towards the intruder, but are cut down like wheat. The dwarf tries to run, pushing her friends into the woman's path, but is grabbed before she can escape. As she's dragged away to a tower, you hear her cursing Brachus Rex and his whore. Even when she's thrown inside and the door sealed, you can still hear her shouts. You pull your hand away from the jar, your head swimming. You can feel the dwarf's cold terror still throbbing in your bones. The vision fades.
She must have been acting against Brachus Rex for him to have come for her like that.
Keeping the dead as slaves. What a disgusting display. She deserved every punishment she got.
Being locked in a tower was more kindness than any necromancer deserves.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Wished bonny barn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
stone gargoyle trains glistening agate eyes upon you. Its jaws creak open, raining dust as it begins to speak.
You are not Brachus Rex. Welcome home, Master.
Stern eyes and a sterner face stare into your very soul. Under the inescapable gaze, you begin to shiver uncontrollably.
Another crawling rat, tracking your stinking paws beneath my nose. Vermin are not tolerated in my house. Begone! Do not doubt my power. I merely wish you gone. You are gone. Begone!
This again? Careful. I've spotted a trap. These skulls crumble to dust after one use.
The gargoyle stirs, the dust of millennia drifting from its pocked wings.
Many have come this way. Few have survived. I invite you to join them.
Careful now. That's a trap. Careful now. That's a trap.
Careful now. It's a trap.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. Careful now. That's a trap.
You look lost. Also stupid and mean. And you look kinda dangerous. So I immediately wish I hadn't just called you stupid and mean. Don't hurt me. I can't help myself. It's a curse. Or possibly a reorganisation of the string inside me brain. I'm only able to tell the truth. And I can't stop telling the truth. All the time. Absolutely all the time. It's hell on dirt, mate. Try making friends when you can't lie to them. Try having a lover for anything longer than an hour. Do I look good? I stepped in something? Do I smell? Did you like the apple I found you? And what do I say? You look terrible. You stink. Your apple was rotten. It's awful. I'll tell you everything I know.
The rat gives you an eager look, then wavers.
Except I don't know anything at all. I was in a hole, and then I woke up here like this. I remember a strange flower and the voice of a witch. But I think I was dreaming. Yes, I think you can, yes. A short, sharp shock of something magical will untangle the wool in my head, and I'll be free to lie all I want. I'd rather hoped you know the answer to that. It's your power to wield, after all. I have faith in you, for all your many manifest flaws. Oh, thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you! You're not as mean as you look stupid.
It closes its eyes, steels itself for what's coming.
My, aren't you good looking? Wait! I'm lying! You've no idea how good that feels! And that's the truth. It's not a lie, because I can tell both the truth and a lie. Oh, I see you're confused. I guess you missed the fun. Sorry. No, wait. I'm not sorry. I was lying. Ha ha! Because I can lie now.
With a new bounce in its tail, the rat wanders away.
My, aren't you good looking? Wait, I'm lying. You've no idea how good that feels. And that's the truth. It's not sorry. No, wait.
With a new bounce...
lost. Also, you look slightly evil. And you look kinda dangerous, so I immediately wish I hadn't just called you evil. Don't hurt me, I can't help myself.
Careful now. That's a trap. Another skull crumbled to bits.
Another skull crumbled to bits. Another skull crumbled to bits.
Your inmates have long awaited your return, Your Highness. Welcome back.
Death awaits beyond this point. Death awaits beyond this point.
Frozen ground in the middle of a swamp. What's going on?
Unreadable glyphs mantle this ancient pillar. Braided through thick iron rings, source-infused chains bind the dragon tightly.
A winter dragon. What on earth is it doing chained up here?
Unreadable glyphs. The dragon stares you down with flinty, intelligent eyes. He tries to speak, but his jaw is bound tightly by the same thick chains that shackle him to the pillars.
Well, that doesn't look ominous at all.
Why do I get the feeling we'll be on the other side of it in a moment? I think I'll stay off that particular device.
This gargoyle flares its lichenous nostrils as you draw near.
Master would be impressed.
Another skull crumbled to bits.